Good evening, everyone. This is Angie Stewart from My Inner Light, Miami Inner Light, here in Kardec Radio, directly for you. So, again, another night that we are going to study two beautiful books. But if you are new to the study, I'm going to tell you a little bit. This is the book that we always study. It's called Thought and Life. So just a little summary, this book was written by the spirit of Emmanuel in the spiritual realm. So when he was there, the spirit approached him and asked him if he could do a short book, like a summary, telling the people, telling everyone they were going to reincarnate, words and texts that would help those people to be able to have an easier life on earth. Not saying that the life is going to be a piece of cake, but how to be able to face the struggles, to face the difficulties in a positive way. And that's exactly what Emmanuel did. So most of the chapters are like 1 to 3 pages maximum. So the topics are very condensed. They are very intense. So that's why it's so good for us to study together so we can digest it together. So last week we read about guilt. And guilt is tough. We all have guilt feelings, but we learned that we can change, we can modify the guilt feelings. We can change, put our thoughts in other things. We can clear our mind. And we also learned that when we really focus in helping others, in being more helpful to others, our guilt feelings start erasing and we can move on. So tonight we are going to read about assistance. So it's almost like a continuation from what we read about guilt, that when you change your mind, you help others, you are able to erase this type of thoughts and frequencies. So Emmanuel is very wise even when he organized the chapters, because everything has a connection. So we that have been together reading this book for a long time, we know that everything is connected. So tonight will be assistance, a beautiful chapter that we all need to learn a little bit more about it. So before I start, I also wanted to say thank you to my friends who prayed for me yesterday, because I got very sick and was suddenly, I got super sick and I really had a horrible migraine and I started vomiting. It was like crazy. And I asked my friends to pray for me, and they did. And it seems the moment they were praying, I was able to disconnect from my migraine and fall asleep. So thank you. So that's why I'm here tonight. Thank God I'm able to be here tonight to continue our study. So just another reminder, that's actually a new thing that you guys don't know. We are in chapter 23, and the book is only 30 chapters. So very soon the book is going to finish, and we are going to start a new book, a beautiful book, a book that I really chose because we are in America. We are living in the United States. And the book is, look, Among Brothers of Other Lands. This beautiful book was written by Chico Xavier, Chico Xavier, and his big friend in that time was Valdo Vieira, the two mediums, the psychographic message from many spirits about living abroad. So the messages will be very good for us, especially me. I'm Brazilian, living in the United States, or anyone that ever lived in a different country. So I believe this book will be really a blessing to all of us. And now that we're going to start, if you have your water there, be prepared. We believe in Spiritism that the water can be blessed. It can be our medication. So I invite all of you now just to relax for a few seconds And let's do our initial prayer to be able to connect tonight. Almighty God, beloved Master Jesus, thank you so much for bringing us together here again to be able to study these two beautiful books. Please help us to connect with our guardian angels so we will be able to fully understand what we're going to be reading and what we're going to be talking tonight. And please, Master Jesus, help our brothers and sisters who are not able to be here with us so they can listen to this message later on and connect with it too. Thank you so much. So be it. Very good, my friends. So let's go. As always, if you do not have the book, Thought and Life, you can go to the Facebook page, My Inner Light Photos, and there you will see the book and you can open the page. So 23 assistance. Assistance, when given freely, reflects the divine nature existing within the human race. Our personality grows in nature and nobility as we yield to the desire of helping others. Divine providence is a reservoir of infinite love, always giving and looking for channels of expression to distribute it. Whoever accepts to do so receives with mathematical precision everything they need. It is necessary, however, that we be watchful about the collective thoughts within us, so as not to hinder the eternal giving of our Father, who is always ready to share the riches he has bestowed upon us. A look at the principles of electricity show that there must be a complete circuit for the current to flow and produce its desired work. If there were no positive and negative poles, we would not be able to have electricity, lightning, or motion. By the same principle, spring water, to remain pure, must have an outlet. An obstruction means stagnation and disease. The law of assistance permits one to ask for help, but it demands expansion of the benefits received so that the help does not become hindrance. Blood that does not circulate results in necrosis, a ghastly condition inside the living body. People who know how to handle their many possessions, giving opportunities of work and education to many, are like a water reservoir serving the community. They are emissaries of progress, sustained by hope, health, security, and happiness, according to the laws of life. On the other hand, those who accumulate many possessions without using them to improve the community are like a murky swamp alongside the road. Unhappy misers, surrounded by anguish and fear, solicitude and emptiness according to the same natural laws. Wow. The assistance we receive corresponds to the assistance we offer. This is very powerful. So the assistance we receive corresponds to the assistance we offer. That's an important sentence. And the assistance we give is always followed by great potential increase, stimulating us to become even more useful. Remember that when we help our neighbor, we reflect God's blessing working through us. To work discreetly in true service is to reflect God to those around us. Likewise, friends in the spiritual world will silently draw near us to give us their total assistance. help everyone with feeling, thoughtfulness, kind words, and action. By always helping others and constantly improving, we invoke our favor, the complete support from life. Let us not forget, therefore, that the help we offer other people without demand or payment is our silent prayer for divine help that is always answered with the blessings of cooperation and supply. Very powerful ending too. Very beautiful. As always, Emmanuel always have a beautiful, intense messages for us. So let's read little by little and analyze every chapter. And if you'd like to ask any question, please just write there and I will be able to read and we can comment together. So let's go. Assistance. So here it says, assistance when given freely, we are giving it for free, reflects the divine nature existing within the human race. Our personality grows in nature, in stature and nobility as we yield to the desire of helping others. So the first sentence, assistance when giving freely reflects the divine nature existing within the human race, is more or less saying the whole human nature has this within them, within all of us. We are always there to give. We are always there to help, to be more charitable. This is the natural state of all human race. But what happens is that we all have free will. So it's almost saying like all the human beings have this seed of being charitable, of being able to offer assistance all the time within us. But we are the ones who make the call. We are the ones who say, I will do it, or I will not do it, or I don't care about doing anything. So this is within us. So let's continue. Then Emmanuel says, our personality grows in stature and nobility as we yield to the desire of helping others. So when he says our personality grows in stature, it's not like in height, but it's in intense light, if you can think about that. So every person that have this seed a little bit more developed, like a little plant within us, that whenever we feel the pain of somebody else, we hear a story or somebody else that is suffering, somebody else that's going through difficulties, we feel compassionate about that. And then we want to do something to help. We want to extend a little bit of our hand, a helping hand, to whatever the situation of them are growing, even when sometimes we can't do much, but we want to do something. And this is a very positive thing that most of people don't have developed yet. But we are studying now to see how important it is. And then Emmanuel continues, divine providence is a reservoir of infinite love, always giving and looking for channels of expression to distribute it. Whoever is accepted to do so receives with mathematical precision everything they need. So it's almost like telling us that whatever we are doing for others, we are also going to receive back to ourselves whatever we need also with mathematical precision. So we shouldn't think about I'm going to do this because I'm going to receive something back. Even if we are not thinking about the person giving me back, but God giving me back. We shouldn't do that. But it's really good to understand that whenever we are helping somebody in need, somehow we are going to receive something back. So it's really encouraging that in the future, I might be going through a difficult problem, and I will have a helping hand helping me too. That you we never know. Nowadays, everything is fantastic, beautiful, but we never know what could happen tomorrow. So if something happens tomorrow, it's always good to know that you helped so many, and you might receive some help back also. So he continues, it is necessary, however, that we be watchful about the collective thoughts within us, so as not to hinder the eternal giving of our Father, who is always ready to share the riches he bestowed upon us. We think, oh, I'm so poor, like materially speaking. Oh, I don't have any knowledge, or I can't do anything to help this person, or I'm going through a lot of problems, so I cannot help anyone else. And it's not true. Even when we have a lot of problems, when we have so many difficulties, we can always do something. If you remember, in the time of Jesus, Jesus was sit in a square with his disciples. When there was a fountain, that there was a place the people used to deposit money to help people that really had no money. So people used to go there and put coins there. So the money in this jar would be donated for this cause. And they spent few hours there. So the disciples are seeing all the rich people going there and putting coins of gold, or like a lot of money. And then the disciples see an old lady going there and taking few coins, few cents, and she's putting there. And then Jesus tells the disciples, he said, you see, she put more than anyone else. Of course, Jesus didn't say with these words, but that was the understanding. And then immediately the disciples said, no, 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 Master, I think you didn't pay much attention. Of course, they didn't say like this either. But they were telling the Master, no, Master, there were people who put really a lot of money there, and she just put few cents. And then Jesus said, yes, but she put few cents of everything she had. The other ones, they put of their excess. Like they had so much money that even if they donated a lot, what they donated is they having excess. And what she donated is the little thing she had. Imagine if she had 3 coins, she donated 2. So she donated almost everything she had. And this is the power of her charity. This was what she really did, was much more powerful, because she had almost nothing. And even like that, she donated. So this is the power that we all have within us. She didn't donate to be a show off, like a lot of the people, they were doing that. They wanted to demonstrate their power. They were like, I can donate a lot of money. I have a lot of money. And that's not what she did. I sincerely want to help people, even if I have so little. So that's something for us to think about. And then Emmanuel continues. A look at the principles of electricity show that there must be a complete circuit for the current to flow and produce its desired work. If there were no positive and negative poles, we would not be able to have electricity lighting or electricity lightning or motion. So it's like the circuit has to go on, have to be a full circuit so this electricity can work. So it's almost like within us. We have to have this desire and action within us. If we have just the desire, but we never do anything, we didn't produce our light. We didn't generate this electricity within us. So this is the complete circuit that he's talking about. Is desire to do good is not enough. We have the desire, but we have to have action too. So the desire and action in place produces this electricity That's actually the light within us. So every time we do something good, it's almost like we are producing more light for ourselves. And that's what the sentence we heard. We are making the lights to shine. So let's make our light shine. There is even a song that talks about oh my God, I can't remember. Not Vanessa. Vanessa Ancelone is really good with music. I'm a disaster. But there is a music that talks about it. Let your light shine. I will remember how you sing that. But then let's go. Where I am? Oh, okay. By the same principle, spring water, to remain pure, must have an outlet. Any obstruction means stagnation and disease. So exactly the same thing. When we know if the water, like if you have a fish tank, and if the water of the fish tank is there, the water soon will become bad. And if you have a little fish there, he will die because the oxygen is not circulating anymore, and he will die without it. So we need this movement. So it's almost like when you have when you have clothes. Let's talk about something very simple. You have a lot of clothes in your closet, and a lot of those clothes you are not using, and you are thinking, oh no, let this stay there for another opportunity. Or you keep clothes that when you were like 10 pounds, 20 pounds skinnier, and you're like, no, I'm gonna keep it there because I will lose weight. And this never happens because it's very easy to gain weight, but very difficult to lose weight. But you keep that beautiful clothes stagnated in your closet when you could have given it to someone that would be using and would be thankful that you gave this clothes that are still really beautiful away. So this is something that you are doing good. And it's not maybe you're saying, oh, but the person didn't even want it. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's energy flowing. Now you have more space in your closet. You can, if you need, you can buy something that really fits you and is useful. So this is just one thing for us to think about. Sometimes we have a tendency of keeping things that we don't even use, when we could donate it, we could give it to someone that would be able to make a good use of that. So that's important for us to think about. So, and then Emmanuel continues, the law of assistance permits one to ask for help, but it demands expansion of benefits received so that the help does not become hindrance. Blood that does not circulate results in necrosis, a ghastly condition inside the living body. So this is the exactly same idea of the water in the fish tank. So you need to move, the blood needs to move to keep you healthy. Then he continues, people who know how to handle their many possessions, giving opportunities of work and education to many, are like a water reservoir serving the community. They are emissaries of progress, sustained by hope, health, security, and happiness, according to the laws of life. This is beautiful. So he's talking here about the people who are really rich, And I'm not even talking about the people who are making huge donations of money, like charitable people, because this is something else. This is charity. Yes, there are a lot of people who are very, very rich and extremely charitable. That's fantastic. But he's not talking about the charity here. He's talking about the people who are really rich and who are able to make something with their money, to produce good to themselves, but to others too. So these are the people who are able to create companies that will employ a lot of people, to developing sometimes business that will make the lives of other people easier. So there are so many intangibles with these things, and because of this company, lots of people are working, Lots of families are being helped. And maybe depending on the type of product they are doing, it's helping someone else. It's like some kind of medication company, some kind of a special scientific company developing treatments. What is that? Is Microsoft creating computers and expanding this unbelievable technology to the whole planet that generates millions of jobs and generates a lot of a need for more technology and more people studying and producing and working. So this is exactly what he's talking about, and this is beautiful. This is really beautiful and important. So these are the people who are able to produce a lot with what they have. It's not that they are rich, they inherit this huge amount of money and they put in his bank account and that's it. It's his money, stay there. So they take a chance to produce something, and this is awesome. That's what generates wealth to the whole planet, because many mouths are surviving from this company, for example. So on the other hand, those who accumulate possessions without using them to improve the community are like murky swamps alongside the road, unhappy misers surrounded by anguish and fear, solitude, emptiness, according to the same natural laws. So this is the other person I said. Took all this money and put in his bank account and leave it there to his own investments or whatever, but is a money stagnate. It's almost like the example of the closet with the nice clothes that nobody is using. So we have to learn how to deal with it. And then you must be thinking, well, but I'm not a millionaire, I don't have all this money. But it doesn't matter. You can put in any kind of example, like the one I said. You know, we all have closets. Women, women many times have lots of shoes. We only have 2 feet and we have like 30, 40 pairs of shoes sometimes. So do you use all this? Like I used to have a lot, a lot. And then another thing good of age, the time comes, you get older, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to be using stilettos anymore. No, I can donate this. I don't need it. So I don't need shoes of every single color. No, I don't need it. Let's buy black. And so I have much fewer shoes, but the ones that I really use, and it's so much better. So we can compare what he's saying to everything of our days, our lives, to every little detail. So let's try to avoid being this murky water. Let's try to be this river, this waterfall of abundance, because we understand that every time we give, we receive. Sometimes not exactly the same thing, but we receive things that will connect with us, that will help us. We are helping others, we will be receiving back, even if prayers. And prayers, we know how important they are. And I just mentioned to you that I was extremely sick yesterday, and my friends prayed for me. And the moment they prayed was like the moment that I really was able to feel good. So prayers are an amazing gift. The prayers are really something that can help us, can assist us. He continues, the assistance we receive corresponds to the assistance we offer. So the assistance we receive corresponds to the assistance we offer. And the assistance we give is always followed by great potential increase, stimulating us to become even more useful. I don't know if you felt like this, but many times when we help someone, we feel so grateful to be able to be of help, that we have that boost of energy that we want to help more. We want to help more people. We want to be more useful. And that's exactly what he's talking about, that we have this potential that's increased and make us to have the desire of helping more. And it is true, if you ever was able to help someone, you will understand what I'm talking about. If you haven't done this yet, please do so, because you will see the difference. You will see the difference within yourself. And I'm not even talking about the charity yet, because charity is something that's bigger than assistance. Assistance is really to be of a help. You know, assistance is something smaller. But we have also to learn how to assist someone. You know, sometimes we think we are helping, we think we are assisting someone, but in reality, we are not, because sometimes we think what is good for me is good for him or for her, but sometimes it is not. For example, here we are talking about spiritism, we are talking about spirituality. If you are listening to this, it's because you are feeling good with that. You are connected with that. Something touches you to wish to listen a little bit more, to wish to study and understand what we are talking about. But I have to say, this is not to everyone, because the Spiritism is not the, first of all, Spiritism is not a religion. Spiritism is a philosophy of life, and it can be connected with any religion. We know there are so many Catholics and people from many other religions, they love to study Spiritism because they connect. They connect with the idea of reincarnation. They connect with the idea that there is no death per se. The death is of the physical body, but the spirit lives forever. But they still follow the religions. But what I'm talking about is like somebody needs assistance with, they are having like a, let's suppose they are having a mental break, and then you think, oh, I'm going to bring this person to the Spiritist Center and this person is going to be cured. Yes, I understand your way of thinking, because we know Spiritism helps so much. We pray. Many times there are Spiritist centers who have some kind of a spiritual treatment. We know there are centers that have treatment at distance, but we have to respect the person we are trying to help. If this person do not believe, do not like, do not want to even talk about religion, for example, we are not going to be a good help trying to obligate this person to start going to a Spiritist center. So whenever we want to help someone, we really have to try to see our boundaries, so we are not stepping over what the person is asking. So if the person is asking for prayers, let's offer prayers, and we can talk about Spiritism, but we cannot force this person to go to a Spiritist center if the person do not wish for. The same thing is if the person asks you to have a glass of milk, and you do not have a glass of milk, but you give a glass of Coca-Cola, for example, Coke. The person is like, no, I don't want Coke. I don't like soda. And you say, oh, but I don't have milk. And the person's like, well, yeah, but so you just say, I don't have milk. And it's like, it's something that sometimes we don't understand. And then we get upset. We get upset because the person didn't accept our assistance. But the thing is, like, we are not understanding what is assistance. Assistance is to be able to offer what the person needs, at least that moment. When I was talking about Spiritism, maybe the person will ask for prayers. We are going to pray. The person is going to feel better. And then the person is going to say, what is this Spiritism? And then you can talk about that. You can really give a little bit more. But what I'm saying is that many times a person asks for something, you give something else, and the person doesn't like, or the person doesn't need, and you that gave gets upset. So this is the thing that we have to understand, that assistance is really when somebody needs something and then we are able to provide that. There is a difference there that sometimes we can't see it. So just to finalize, So he says, remember that when we help our neighbor, we reflect God's blessings working through us. So this is what we just read. So when we help a neighbor, other day I have a person that I know from another state, and I saw one of her posts on Facebook searching for someone that she wanted to pay to be able to go to this neighbor that was a older lady who had a few cats, and she had to go to the emergency room. So it seems like she called this woman, and she was really sick, and she asked the woman call 911, and she did, and the old lady went to the hospital, and she stayed in her house. I'm guessing here that the woman asked, could you please feed my cats while I'm away? I don't know how many days I'm going to be away. Here's the key. And she left. And then this woman who works full time, she put a message on Facebook asking if anyone knew a person who would be able to go to her house and clean. And then she took a few pictures, and this is an old lady, and she lives in a big apartment. It's like 2 floors, and it was very dirty. She had like few cats. So I was like amazed. What a nice neighbor. Everybody would love to have a neighbor like that. To be able to, she asked her for, she asked her for to feed the cats, but then she saw her house was so dirty that she like, why not to give her an extra hand? Why not to move a little bit further and feed the cats, but also clean all the litters of the cats and organize a little bit her house, because she's old, she lives alone, she has difficult with mobility, and she lives in a 2 floor apartment. So this was beautiful. This is really the type of help, the type of assistance that we can give, and we are not giving something different. We are really helping. And then later on, she showed the lady coming back home and seeing the house all clean and beautifully organized, and the cat's happy. And I'm sure that this woman is receiving so many blessings. Maybe not from the old lady, because you saw she's a simple person, but I'm sure all the beautiful spirits happy with what she did. So this is the beautiful thing. This is really a loving assistance. This is really a loving assistance. So just to finish the last paragraphs, they say, help everyone with feeling, thoughtfulness, kind words, and action, but always helping others and constantly improving. We invoke in our favor the complete support from life. So that's it. So when we are helping others, we are really receiving help for ourselves. So this is a beautiful blessing. And then Emmanuel finished. Let us not forget, therefore, that the help we offer other people without demand or payment, is our silent prayer for divine help that is always answered with the blessings of a cooperation and supply. This is true. So many times we offer help, but even if it's silent, within ourselves, we keep thinking, yeah, this person didn't thank me enough. Or if I had to charge for this service, it would cost this amount of money. So when we start thinking, even thinking, like imagine that you evolved to a point that you do not complain to the person or to everybody around you that you did this, and this, and you did not receive this, and this. You evolved from this point. But deep inside of you, you keep thinking, yeah, this person is so ungrateful because I did this and she didn't say thank you enough. Or the person did that and didn't demonstrate that what I did was really a big help. So this is already that type of thing. Like we talk also about charity, that you give with this hand, but you want this other hand to be, hey, look what he did, look what she did. And that this is not the real good thing. We have to evolve from this type of thing. So we are in that point that we are much better, but we have to police ourselves all the time. We have to police ourselves all the time so we don't fall in this type of negative pattern. So if we are really doing something positive, we're doing something with others, let's do it and bless the person and not think about that. Let's understand that one day, if we need help, we will be able to receive the same type of help that we were able to give. And this will be our blessing. Let's hope for that. This was a beautiful chapter, assistance. Much easier than guilt. Guilt was like a tough one. And in 2 weeks, we are going to read about humility. That's another one that's so beautiful, and we need so much to learn about humility. Humility is not something that we all have easily. So now let's move to the gospel. We are in chapter 1, and today we are going to read about spiritism. Very interesting. We are going to read about our dear spiritism. So my book is page 55. So let's go. Spiritism is the new science that has come to reveal to humans, by means of irrefutable proofs, the existence and nature of the spirit world and its relations with the corporeal world. It shows us that the world no longer as something supernatural, but instead as one of the living and incessantly active forces of nature, as the source of a multitude of phenomena hitherto incomprehensible, and for that reason relegate to the domain of the fantastic and extraordinary. It is such relations that Christ alludes on several occasions, and that is why many things that he said have remained unintelligible or wrongly interpreted. Spiritism is the key that enables everything to be easily explained. So, Spiritism, like people in the past, they didn't have knowledge. But most of all, they were not able to understand. Their brains, their spirits were not able to understand. So if you think about the people in the time of Moses, we were even, I say we because we were living in that time. We were incarnated in that time. So the spirits in the time of Moses, they were even more difficult, more rudimentary evolved. So Moses had to be very strong, very tough. Moses had to demonstrate this God of fear, because in the time they believed they had fear of God. They didn't believe in God necessarily, but they were afraid of it. So I don't want to make God angry because I can suffer with it. But then the time came and Jesus was on earth, and he was able to demonstrate a different God, a God of love, of forgiveness, a God that's really a loving Father, because we spirits had evolved, had many reincarnations coming back and evolving every single time we came to earth, evolving. So we were able to develop a little bit more of our intellect and also about our morality. We were a little bit more evolved spirits. So we could understand a little bit more what Jesus was saying. But even like that, like this, in that time, Jesus couldn't really talk a lot. There is a part in the gospel that when the apostles they are talking to Jesus and they ask Jesus, but Jesus, why do you talk to them, referring to the masses of people, in parables, but you talk to us directly? And then Jesus answers, because you were chosen to understand me. You were the chosen ones to be able to come back here as my disciples, to help me to spread these beautiful words. They are not prepared yet. So with them, I have to talk in parables. So continue. Continue and comes Spiritism. So Spiritism comes, and we had many, many, many reincarnations after the time of Jesus. So we were more developed, more intellectually developed, and more morally developed. So now we are able to understand much, much more. So we are able to have this these ideas that we wouldn't be able to have in that time. And also because science also developed so much. So nowadays, lots and lots of things, science is already proving, yes, this thing can happen. You cannot see the electric current going, but if you put your finger there, you're gonna be you're gonna have some kind of electrical shock. So we understand that there are things we can't see, but they exist. You know, the waves that connect us in internet, for example. We cannot see it, but we know it exists. And I'm talking to you because of this. So there are many things that nowadays science is helping us in so many points. And that's what Spiritism brings to us, this possibility to understand what we couldn't. So everything that in the past was connected to the occult, to the things that nobody knows why, like oh, we have no idea what happens after the death of the body. And there are a lot of people who love to joke because nobody returned to say what happens. No, 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 no. In Spiritism, we know it's not true. A lot of spirits return, and they keep returning to say what happened to them. In the Kardec time, we know how many mediums received messages from the spirits. And even nowadays, every single day in the Spiritist Center, lots of mediums are receiving lots of messages. And also in places that are not Spiritist centers, because we know mediums are everywhere. They are not connected to Spiritism only. They can be any religion, any class, any language. But we talk about Spiritism because it's a place that is normal. It's normal to talk about spirits without thinking it's something related to the devil, like many people think. For us, mediumship is something normal that happens to a lot of people. And people say, oh, this is a curse, or oh, this is a blessing. No, it's not a curse and it's not a blessing, but it's something to help us in the middle. We know that the mediums, many times, most of the times, they asked in the spiritual realm, they asked to come back as a medium to help others so they would be able to be helped. We know that most of the mediums, they have lots and lots and lots of problems to resolve. So instead of spending hundreds of years with problems, they spend 100 years as a medium working to the benefit of others, so they are able to clean up a little bit their wrongdoings from the past. And then it becomes a blessing if it's well used. We know also that many mediums come back and they forget about this, and they don't want to be mediums, or unfortunately they start charging for their gift. But this is another subject, very different than what we're talking here. So let's continue. Number 6. The law of the Old Testament is personified in Moses. That of the New Testament is personified in Christ. Spiritism is the third revelation of God's law. but it is not personified in any particular individual. Rather, it is the product of a teaching given not by one person, but by the spirits, who are the voices of heaven at all points of the earth and through a countless multitude of intermediaries. It is a sort of collective being entailed, a group of beings from the spirit world, each one coming to bring to humans the tribute of its knowledge in order to enable them to know about that world and the fate that awaits them in it. So this is beautiful. This is really beautiful. So there were Moses, Jesus, and then people have this misunderstanding that there is Kardec. So we have to understand that Spiritism was brought by the spirits, a multitude, thousands of spirits, with maybe thousands of mediums. Kardec was the codifier. He got all these messages together and he wrote books organizing, putting everything in like in a catalog, but he did not create spiritism. And you know, sometimes because the books have Kardec's pictures, people that do not understand or do not know spiritism, they think, oh, this guy is the one who created this religion. So two mistakes: one, religion, because it's a philosophy, and the other, he is the creator. And no, so that's why it's good for us to study, so we are able to explain. No, Kardec organized, but who brought spiritism together were the spirits. So one thing that I like to say with the evolution, just like something for my mind, is that Moses could be the frame of a door. Moses is the frame of a door. And then we have Jesus as the door. Jesus is the door. And then we have Spiritism as the key, the key to the door. This is just one thing that I like, because like we know that for any big building to be able to grow safely, needs to have a very, very good basement. So this basement needs this solidification, has to be very solid, so this big building can grow. So we can think about this door that needs to have a very good frame to be standing, and the door is very important, so the door closes and opens and protects us. And the key, we need the key to open and close as we want. And the key is the key to open new knowledge for us, to open this evolution within ourselves. So every day we can open our minds and ideas to positive thoughts, to new ideas, to help other people. So we can always improve ourselves, and this is extremely important. So I like this figurative way of seeing the evolution of times. So number 7. In the same way that the Christ said, I have not come to destroy the law but to fulfill it, Spiritism says, I have not come to destroy the Christian law but to fulfill it. It teaches nothing contrary to what Christ taught, but develops, completes, and explains in clear terms for everybody what he stated only in allegorical form. Spiritism has to come to fulfill at the foretold time what Christ announced, and to prepare the fulfillment of future things. It is therefore the work of Christ, who himself is presiding, as he also announced, over the regeneration that is occurring, and who is preparing the reigns of the kingdom of God on earth. So this is beautiful. This is exactly what Jesus told to the Hebrew people. He said, I did not come to go against the the scriptures. I did not come to go against, but to further explain it. So in the time that Jesus was on earth, there was this huge crash with the Hebrew people because they understood he wanted to destroy everything. And no, he wanted to complement. He wanted to give a little bit broader ideas that they were falling like in a way that was not what they really should be because of pride and so many other things. And Spiritism is doing the same thing Jesus did to the Hebrew. Spiritism is doing to Christians, for example. Many different sects of a Christianity. Spiritism is not going against Jesus' teachings. No way. We follow everything. We believe in Jesus. Actually, Jesus is the main figure in Spiritism. But why people say so many things against is because they do not understand that as Jesus was trying to explain to the Hebrew people, Spiritism was trying to explain to the Christians in general that we are also Christians. We also believe in Jesus Christ. It's just that because the Spiritism came from the spirits who gave us this understanding of what is happening in the other side. What happens to a person who commits crimes? What happens to a person who commits suicide? What happens to a person who was really mean? What happens to a person who is really nice? What happens to a person who suffers so much but was always a loving person? So what are the differences? What happened to these people? Why little children die? So all these questionings that we could never understand, and the answers that many times the answers we got was just you have to have faith. You have to believe in God. Yes, we always need to believe in God. We always need to have faith. But the point is that the Spiritism, through the spirits, are able to understand, to help us to understand the laws of action and reaction, cause and effect. So this is what brings the light for us spiritists, is that we are able to understand the consequences of many things. So this also helps us to refrain ourselves from doing bad because we know what's gonna happen. So the people say, oh, you spiritism, you're weird people. Well, yes, a lot of people think so because they are the ones who avoid understanding. They are the ones who don't want to ask questions, who don't want to listen to it. We still have this mindset that if you guys talk to spirits, you are evil people. And it is not true. I always tell them when they tell me things like that, especially my family. I tell them, listen, if your mom that you love so much died, and if she appeared for you and she wanted to hug you, or if she wanted to tell you a loving sentence, would you say that she's evil? She is the devil? And lots of them say, no, but that's different. And sometimes they say, oh, please, I don't ever want to see my mother. She is dead. She's a ghost. So it's like, well, this is what we were talking in the beginning also. People have a different perceptions of things, things that they are not able to understand yet. So we are not saying they will understand right now, maybe, maybe not, but it doesn't matter. We know that we will always evolve, and we have to respect the people that are different from us. But remember, you are spiritists. So if this happens to you, don't run away. If it's a person that you love, don't run away. It's not a ghost, it's a spirit. Whenever we die, we will go back to the spiritual world. We are not going to become ghosts. We are not going to hunt people. we have to understand that life is eternal. We are eternal spirits. So if we are good here, we will be good in the other side. But because we are spiritists, we also know if we are bad here, we will be bad in the other side. And that's why we have to pray, we have to watch, because when we are praying, we are able to donate this loving energy to all the spirits that might need light. They might need light to evolve, to become better themselves. And that's what we want, is that what we would like to receive also. If we were in this type of condition, we would love to receive a prayer to help ourselves. So very good. We are on time. So next week we will be reading number 8, the alliance between science and religion. It's another point that's very, very important. So I'm glad we were able to study this portion, and everything was fine, and I'm good. So hello, Saul. I didn't even say hello to anyone. Hello, Saul. Hello, Carla. Hello, everybody that was here. I didn't pay attention to the names tonight. So let's do our final prayer so we can connect with the enlightened spirit. So when we go to sleep, we will have beautiful dreams. And if possible, we can be brought to enlightened areas where we can learn, where we can listen to beautiful talks, where we can meet loving ones that we haven't seen for a while. So tomorrow morning, when we wake up to go to work, we are feeling so elevated, so positive, and so happy. Almighty God, beloved Master Jesus, thank you so much for bringing us together here tonight. We would like to ask for this loving energy to be distributed to all our friends who are with us at this moment, but also to the ones that will be listening to this talk later on. Please, Master, help us to come back again, to continue studying Spiritism, to continue enlightening ourselves, so we will be always of a good assistance, a good loving assistance, not requiring anything back for us, but always giving a little bit to the others. Thank you so much, and so be it. Very good. Thank you so much, my friends. Have a great night. See you soon. Bye-bye.